Okay, thank you. Calling the Committee on Ordinance regular meeting Monday, October 26th to order upon the rise of our public hearing. Madam Clerk, could you kindly read the roll?
Chairwoman Ryan.
Present.
Vice Chairwoman Castillo.
Present.
Councilman Narducci.
Here.
Councilwoman Harris.
Present.
Councilor Miller.
Present.
All are present, you have a quorum.
Wonderful. I'd like to recognize a council colleague with us this evening. Councilman Espinal has joined us. Anyone else? Okay, awesome. We also have with us the distinguished Eddie Schwab, our favorite solicitor. And we have our Director of Policy, I believe, Sean Bouchard is with us. Is that correct? Sean, are you with us?
That is correct.
Awesome. Okay, why don't we start by asking Etty Schwab if she would be kind enough to affirm that this Zoom meeting is indeed legal and meets the requirements of open meetings. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, certainly. Consistent with the governor's executive order regarding open meetings, an open meeting may be compliant with with the Open Meetings Act, a public meeting like this one, if it is done virtually, and this one's done virtually, just consistent with that order.
Wonderful. Madam Clerk, could you kindly read the first item into the record?
Petition from Nicholas J. Heeman, Esquire, Darrow Everett, LLP, 1 Turk's Head Place, Suite 1200, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903, requesting a zone change for the property located on Census Plat 65, Lot 384, 109 Canton Street, from R3 to C1.
Any discussion on this matter from committee? Any questions? We just heard it in public hearing. Okay. Council members, any thoughts, concerns, questions? May I have a motion to recommend approval?
Madam Chair, motion made to recommend approval.
Thank you. Councilman Narducci makes that motion, seconded by Vice Chair Castillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay. Madam Clerk, I don't have it's 2 and 3. Madam Clerk, would you kindly read item 2 into the record?
Petition from John J. Garrity Law, LLC, 2088 Broad Street, Cranston, Rhode Island, 02905, dated August 24th, 2020, requesting a zone change for the property located on Census Plat 2, Lot 15, 50 Ashburton Street, from M1 to MMU 75.
Okay, I'd first like to ask my committee to enter a letter from the CPC into the record recommending approval of this item. May I have that motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Vice Chair Castillo makes that motion, seconded by Councilman Narducci. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, so we've entered the CPC letter as Exhibit 2A. Any comments, concerns on the heels of the public hearing for item 2 from my committee?
Madam Chair, I'd like to comment.
Absolutely.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Garrahy and the developers for this particular project. That particular building, I know most of you know it, where it is. It's been run down, boarded up, graffitied for years. It's been an eyesore for years, and we got a great business right across the street with Snookers, and I'm just glad to see that finally somebody's taking the lead to develop this property. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well said, Councilman. Any other council members have any thoughts to say? Any thoughts on this matter? May I have a motion to recommend approval?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Castillo, seconded by
Second.
Councilwoman Harris and Narducci. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Item 2 is passed. Thank you very much. Okay, item 3, please read
Thank
item
you,
3
Madam
into the
Chair.
record. Please read item 3 into the record, Madam.
Petition from Brett W. J. Chase, Ruttenberg and Friedman, LLC, dated August 27, 2020, requesting a zone change for the property located on Assessors Plat 23, Lot 27 to 35, 743, and 883, 1642 Somerset Street, from R3 to C2.
Okay, first I'd like to ask my committee to enter a letter from the CPC into the record as 3A. May I have that motion? Motion made by Council Vice Chair Castillo.
Second.
Seconded by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, so 3 is, got an amendment or got an attachment, 3A. Councilwoman Harris, would you like to talk about this project?
Of course, I want to talk about this project. What an exciting project. Leaders, you know, we started together, and this was one of my first projects, you know, to work on. I say a project to work on to start out with the council, you know, during the council alone as well. These people in this area were living in horrible conditions. They were, extension cords were extended from house to house. I mean, on several streets, you would see that. And these houses were vacant, but they had extension cords connected. There was quite a bit of activity there that was really harmful for people. No way for people to be living, a lack of quality of life, I can say, there. So the old-fashioned thing was to go with one of my colleagues, former Councilman Aponte, who spoke Spanish, out into the neighborhood on Sundays. And we knocked on the door and we said to these people, you have to leave, you have to move, but we promise you your right to return, you know, but you got to move out of this condition. So that was almost a year process of trying to talk people into that, you know, like moving. But council leader, there was a big coalition that was built from inside. So I wasn't alone in this. When I sit down at the table, I had quite a few people who were actively involved, which right now the director, Carol Venger over at Rhode Island Housing, were at the table from day one. Melissa Sander from Providence Housing, yeah, Providence Housing. We're at the table from day one. So think of all these people coming together and just really caring about this this community enough to try to figure out how do we get these people out of the house, out of the conditions they were living in. Providence Housing stepped in. They provided vouchers for them to move. DARE did a little bit of work of helping them get placement, you know, to find housing as well. So they had something to lean on as well to try to get it, you know, out of there. This whole project has been very exciting. It's been very exciting because it has started with community engagement. There was a group that was hired to come in to do a process. I followed the whole process through. It was exciting to see the people who participated. We learned a little about planning. We learned a little about how you build houses, you know, what kind of houses you want. So it was an activity that was taken. So it was a lot of education behind it. I agree with Mr. Gary, and I want to thank you for recognizing me along the way, because I wanted to just see how people work and how people work together and all we can do when we all come together. Now we're at an exciting place. You heard what Sharon said. They've been doing community engagement, keeping up the same process, letting people know not only are we building houses for you, we care about you. We care enough about you to say that we are neighbors that's coming in. We want to know what you want, what your thoughts are, how you're feeling about this new development. We're going to have a beautiful transformation over there. Thank you for saying that. It's going to be really a beautiful opportunity for people to have an opportunity to build. Here we got Wingate as management. We're going to have an opportunity to have people who are living in a better lifestyle. And as many of you know, Barbara Jordan's been around for a long time, and people been living in horrible conditions. I see you shaking your head, Councilman Narducci. And people have been living in those bad conditions for a very long time. So I think I'm overexcited. I don't think I have much more words. I want to thank all the partners from the day one to today at the table. So I would like to encourage my council people, and I want to urge you to please vote for this zoning tonight, because this is really, really something that we're going to see that is housing that we all are trying to push for as well. So I want to thank you for the time. I know it was a lot more I want to say, but I know we got other things on the agenda to do. Very
That's
excited.
okay. That's okay. Good for you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
All that,
Thank you. From
you needed to say all those things.
2015 leader. Look at where we are
It's been a
now.
long time. Those were a lot of discussions in the
Let's see
elevator.
the shovel go in the ground. That's going to be the real big part. Thank you so much.
Anyone else like to speak? Council colleagues, any other thoughts? I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Deputy Majority Leader Mary Kay Harris for her hard work on this project. When she says she started it many years ago, when I first met the councilwoman, she was bound and determined to make a difference and provide healthy, affordable homes for the families that live there. And I remember her saying that so many folks didn't want to leave, that was their home. So engaging the community and managing to get their input and provide housing for them in the interim while it was being built. Those are all important things. This is a great, wonderful project. It is a transformative project, and so many people had their hand in it, and I think that's what even makes it even more special. So thanks to all the partners for coming together and recognizing that we can do great things when we all work together. And this is a prime example of it. And Councilwoman, congratulations. This is not easy work, and I know you poured your heart and soul into it. So on behalf of the Providence City Council, I want to thank you, because change like this doesn't happen unless someone's pushing for it, and you surely pushed from day one.
Thank you, leader.
And all of the partners that are here, the architect, great design.
Everybody.
I'm really impressed. And I loved hearing someone say, and I can't recall, perhaps it was Sharon, someone say that not everyone wants to live in the same house. And the fact that this development makes provisions for different structures for different, different folks, different strokes for different folks, and you've thought of everything. Really well done, and certainly a compliment to the neighborhood. So thank you very much. With that, I'd like
to make a motion.
And what would you like to say, Councilwoman?
I would like to make a motion that we pass for the zoning of beautiful housing. And
Motion made to approve this wonderful transformative project by Councilwoman Harris, seconded by Councilwoman Castillo, Najucci, I.C. Miller.
Yes, everybody.
Everybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Thank you all. Great work.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very much appreciated.
Thank you all. See you at the ribbon cutting.
Thank you.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Well done, folks. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you kindly read item 4 into the record?
An ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 1, in general of the Providence Code of Ordinances to add Section 2-18.6, Hospitality Worker Comeback.
Okay, wonderful. A lot of sponsors on this. We've already passed it once on the council floor. It needs a recommendation from this committee to move forward to the council for a second passage. We have a few people here this evening that I would like to have speak about it. But before that happens, I think it would behoove us to have our deputy Deputy Director of Policy, Sean Bouchard, just quickly lay out exactly what this ordinance does.
Certainly, Madam Chair and members of the committee. So what you have before you this evening is the Hotel Worker Comeback Ordinance. The intent behind the ordinance is fairly clear. The purpose is to ensure that Providence Hotel employees who who are currently laid off as a result of COVID-19 are provided the option to return to their jobs by classification and seniority when the industry is able to get back on its feet. The way that this works is it provides a requirement on the employer to send an offer to an employee in writing that provides them the opportunity to return to the position that they previously held, provided that they are back in the hiring process. So upon receipt of that offer, the employee will be provided 5 days to respond in order to take their position back, or should they feel that they're not able to return to work or do not wish to take the position, they would then decline at that point. I did just want to make one quick point on the record here, which is that this is not something that is policed by the city of Providence. There's no enforcement mechanism that we are putting forward as the city itself. Rather, what would occur is that if an employer fails to comply with the requirements of this ordinance, the employee would be provided a right of action to go to a court of competent jurisdiction and seek remedy in the court system. So with that said, I'm happy to answer any other questions or concerns the chair or the committee may have, but I'll turn it back over for the time being.
Thank you, Director. I'd like to ask Carlos Aramayo if you could kindly speak about this ordinance, the significance of it to you. Identify yourself first, kindly, for the record.
Sure. Thank you, Leader Ryan. My name is Carlos Aramayo. I'm the president of Unite Here, Local 26, the union that represents 12,000 hospitality workers in Eastern Massachusetts and the state of Rhode Island. So I want to thank, again, Leader Ryan for introducing this ordinance to the City Council. I also want to thank all the members of the City Council that have expressed their support and co-sponsoring the ordinance. I think, as everyone knows, COVID-19 has had a devastating effect on the hotel industry. In March, government did the right thing by instituting travel restrictions to address the public health crisis. And we have and we continue to support those restrictions as we try to navigate out of the public health crisis that the pandemic has unleashed on us. The consequences of the travel restrictions have been that that in the city of Providence, thousands of hotel workers have been put out of work through no fault of their own. This is something that happened to them, and that there was no predictive ability to know that this could actually happen. And so we have a situation where thousands of people are without work. These individuals have decades of experience in the industry, and they are workers who are Black and brown. The majority are women, and many are first-generation immigrants. Hotel jobs are difficult. It's hard work, but they're good jobs, and it will be difficult for many of these workers to find other employment that would match the quality of the jobs that they've spent decades working in the industry. We know that the road to recovery is going to be long, and it may take many years for these jobs to return. And we applaud the council for introducing this ordinance, and we support it as written. What this ordinance will do, honestly, is bring a small peace of mind to hotel workers who've been displaced by the pandemic. I've spoke to many hotel workers, and the first thing on their mind is my job gonna be there when the industry returns? And they just don't know the answer to that question. And we are simply asking that there be a guarantee that a worker who has dedicated years of their lives to this industry and who's unlikely to find this type of job elsewhere be given their opportunity, an opportunity to get their job back when and if, frankly, that job is recreated. This ordinance has been adopted by 8 other municipalities to great effect. I know there are a number of other municipalities around the country considering it. And so I just wanted to conclude by saying that appropriate actions to combat the pandemic were taken by the state of Rhode Island and the city of Providence. These actions have caused hotel workers to be laid off through no fault of their own. And now there's this amazing opportunity for action by the city of Providence that will guarantee them the chance to return to these jobs when and if they are recreated. And it's very simple. And, you know, it's the slogan we've put out there. When the jobs come back, we come back. So again, I want to thank Leader Ryan, other members of the council, and on behalf of the hotel workers in the city of Providence to thank you for putting this forward and supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I just ask, it's my understanding there's 700 Providence hotel employees that are currently laid off as a result of COVID. Is that accurate to say?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank the team of folks that came forward to work with me, as well as Sean Bouchard, our policy director, to put forth this ordinance and make sure that it addressed a real serious issue. And your comments were extremely right on the money. It's disheartening. Obviously, Rhode Island did what we needed to do, shut down the travel industry to deal with COVID, and unfortunately, we're getting another wave of it. But nonetheless, the hotel employees are devastated because of that action. This ordinance is interesting in that it doesn't cost the hotels anything. If they're shut down, you know, this doesn't cost them anything now. This is all about fairness, and it's all about giving employees an opportunity to get their job back when the hotels come back online. And as you said, it's been done in other municipalities, and many more municipalities are thinking about it. So I just want to thank you for advocating for the hotel employees. Thank you for your work. And I was very proud to be able to sponsor or be the lead sponsor on this. With that, I know that there are some hotel workers that asked to speak. And if I can, do we have a Russell Howard? I'm sorry. Absolutely. Councilman Narducci, would you like to speak or ask a question?
No, I'd like to speak just briefly. First of all, I support the hotel workers 150%. They've been through enough. They should have that. They should be able to have a little ease in their minds, and they should be treated fairly in getting their positions back when this COVID and, you know, these hotels start reopening again. Hopefully soon. I mean, you know, let's face it, some of these families are losing a lot, and unemployment doesn't pay, you know, what they used to being paid neither, and their benefits are not there either. But with that being said, Madam Chair, I would like to cast my vote now to support this resolution, because I do have to go and do my diabetes, sugar, and shots. Is that okay?
I've got more people to hear, and I really appreciate your, if you want to come back, but we can't vote right now. We have more people to hear and listen to. But I thank you for your comments. All right, do we have Russell Howard? Russell Howard?
I'm here, Councilwoman.
Would you like to speak and give us a little perspective, or your perspective on this, what it means to you?
First, I would like to thank you, Councilwoman Ryan, and the City Council members for just coming forward and introducing this.
Set it up right here.
I worked at the Graduate Hotel for 2 years. I live in the Elmhurst neighborhood of Providence. And with COVID has really hurt us. I personally have been out of work since March of 2020. And unemployment is not covering my expenses, especially with the $600 boost is now gone. I have lost my medical insurance. I did gain it through the state of Rhode Island. But these are all things that are gonna come to a head because eventually unemployment will run out for us. So yeah, it affects us deeply. Some of us have families to support, and some of us help support other family members. So I like to thank you all for your time, and Councilwoman Ryan for just being a champion at this. Thank you.
Thank you. How about Angelina?
Yeah,
Would you like to say a few words?
yes. First of all, thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you so
Could you
much.
identify your name? Say your
Yeah,
name for the record.
my name is Helena Down. I live in Providence, Rhode Island. I work in Army Hotel for 13 years. So right now, I just want to say, Councilman Ducey, thank you for everything. Igolosi, thank you for supporting all hotel workers. Thank you so much for everything. Like me, right now the unemployment, I cannot afford my bill and my family. I so tired of with my bill and I have mortgage to pay the unemployment I'm getting right now. It can't even pay my mortgage. So it's not easy. I want to tell council woman that it's not easy right now. I need to pass a bill when the hotel open for us to go back to work because right now I'm tired of with my bill. And when the COVID came, me and my family we had a virus. With my 4 children, we had a virus and no medical. They shut down my medical. It was not even easy on with a virus with no medical. I told Omi Hotel, tell all that we are one family. But right now, during the pandemic, they shut down my medical with my family. All of us was sick with the virus. And it's not easy right now on me. I can't even afford to pay my bill. So I'm talking to people nosy to pass a bill, please. So we can go back to work as soon as possible because it's not easy. So I just want to tell everybody thank you for listening. Thank you for everything, Councilwoman Ryan and Igolosi. Please pass a bill so we can go to work as soon as possible. Because we work very hard for me to own what I have right now, and I want to lose everything because I can't afford to pay the bill, to pay the mortgage. I'm going to lose everything that I worked so hard in the hotel to earn. I'm going to lose it now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How about Angelina? I think we interrupted Angelique. Are you there, Angelique?
Yes, I'm here. It's Angelique Mees.
Would you like to say a few words, Angelique?
Absolutely. So I just want to say good evening, Chairwoman Ryan and members of the committee. My name is Angelique Mees, and I live in the South Providence neighborhood. And I've worked at the Omni Hotel for 13 years as a front desk agent. I would like to thank Councilwoman Ryan and thank Councilwoman Harris, who's my counselor. I met her a few years ago, actually in the front of my house. She probably knows me as my maiden name, which is last name Pope, if she's listening. And, we spoke for a while. And, I just want to thank her for being on our side and being a champion for hotel workers for so many years. The pandemic has made my life so hard. I went from working every day, feeling strong and motivated, every day providing for my family, to not knowing what my future is going to even hold. This unemployment is horrible. We're trying to pay bills and then put food on the table, trying to take care of my 5-year-old granddaughter and my daughter. And then I have a new grandbaby on the way, which I'm so worried that I'm not going to be able to give them the things that I gave them when I was working. Um, it's so hard, and then having to, find different resources for food, going over to across the street from my house, which I live in front of the Salvation Army, to grabbing, food over there and not even knowing what to do. And money is just so tight. When they cut our medical off, I had to switch to my husband. Fortunately, is still working, but one paycheck is not enough, and I had to switch to his health care, which is three times as much, that I was paying when I was working at Omni. And I even started seeing a therapist because of all of this. it's sad. Like, it makes me want to cry talking about it because, I'm the one who always had it together. I'm the front desk agent. I'm the first thing that visitors to our city see every single day, know me. They come back because of me, because I treat them so well and do everything to welcome them to the city of Providence, and for me to have to go see a therapist and basically feel like I'm degrading myself, it hurts me, and then on top of that, seeing a therapist, obviously I got to pay for it with my medical, which is 3 times as much. So it's really hard to deal with the stress, and I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to get my job back. I don't know, what's going to happen and what my future holds. This is what I know how to do. This is what I love. This is my
Angelique, how long have you worked at the Omni?
13 years at the front
13
desk.
years.
13, and I'm the first person that you see when you walk through those doors. You know what I mean? I make the first impression, first impression on people, and then, obviously, throughout it, then you got the housekeepers that make their impressions, and, you have all the other departments that make their impressions. But this is what I know how to do, and this is what I love, and this is what I'm so unbelievably passionate about. I come home all the time, tell my husband about, oh, I met this one, and I, formed a relationship with this one and that one. And I have regulars that come to the hotel that still to this day reach out to me to make sure that I'm okay and say, when you come back, we're going to come back, and, I just don't know what I'll do. But, when the jobs come back, we want to come back. This is, what we want to do. So, I just want to thank you guys for supporting hotel workers during this very, very trying time. And I urge you to pass this ordinance in its current form.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Council, committee member? Yes. It wasn't the same without you, Councilman Narducci. We're glad you're back. Does anyone have any questions of our presenters so far? Any committee members, council members? Anyone else? Okay. Russell, how long have...
Council leader.
Sure.
I do have a question.
Peter Harris.
Please, I think I heard that it was over 700 employees that's laid off. Is that correct?
That's the number we've been given, yes. 700 Providence hotel workers have been laid off.
So does that mean that the hotels are closed, are not operating?
Some of them are open on a limited basis, but others are closed.
Thank you.
They will come back, Councilwoman. I'm sure this economy, I have faith and confidence that the hotels will come back, the industry will come back. It's extremely important, vital industry for the city of Providence as well as the state. And I think it's important that the compelling testimony you heard, they've devoted their lives and their careers to their hotel jobs. And all they're asking is that when the hotels come back, that they be provided with an opportunity to come back as well. Right. So that's what this ordinance is about, and thank you for asking about those 700 laid off employees. That's who we're trying to help tonight. Anyone else on the call this evening that would like to speak? Anyone else? Okay. I think at this point...
Sorry, this is Sarah Bracker from the Hospitality Association.
Hello, Sarah. Sarah?
Yes, hi, sorry. Technology challenges.
So please identify yourself, Sarah Bracco.
My name is Sarah Bracco on behalf of the Rhode Island Hospitality Association. We are the trade association representing restaurants and hotels throughout the state of Rhode Island, including in Providence. And I wanted just to take a few minutes to provide some context as to the state of where the industry, particularly the lodging industry, is right now, and to provide a little bit of context as to where the concern is from the hotels themselves about this ordinance. I think Carlos said it best, that the challenges facing the industry is just unimaginable. We were really the shining star of Rhode Island's economy, and virtually overnight we were shuttered. When we speak to our hotels now in downtown Providence, the language that they use is that they are currently on the brink of collapse. We're now 7 months into the pandemic, and hotels are dragging behind other segments of the industry when it comes to recovery. And that is really because our industry is dependent on travel and meetings and conventions and social gatherings, all of which aren't really happening right now. And we see this particularly in Providence, which is situated in a slightly unique position. When we look at our overall statistics of the industry, and we look at two particular statistics, we look at the occupancy tax as well as the hotel tax, the numbers are troubling. Our overall occupancy rate in September for the entire state of Rhode Island is just under 50%, compared to 75% in 2019. I do want to note, however, that this number is not exactly an accurate reflection, because the occupancy statistic does not include the several hotels that are currently closed. What is more problematic and more concerning, particularly for Providence, is what the hotel tax revenue is telling us. In 2019, our hotel tax revenue, the 1% that goes directly to the cities and towns, was just under $120,000. In July of this same year, it was at $23,000, almost an 80% decline. The industry in Providence is virtually non-existent at this point in time. And unfortunately, our outlook is not looking any better for the future. As I said before, we're very dependent in Providence on meetings and conventions. In fact, that makes up the bulk of what our business is, particularly when you look at the Monday through Friday rooms. Obviously, as we go into 2021, that industry and the market for meetings and conventions doesn't really exist. That's further compounded, obviously, by the continued closure of the Rhode Island Convention Center. What's further problematic is that January and February room stays are generally supported by sporting events such as wrestling and cheerleading, which are also not happening. With all of this happening, we are looking at an extraordinarily weak first quarter, and our second quarter of 2021 is not looking much better. The American Hotel and Lodging Association recently conducted a survey that said that over 67% of hotels expect that they will permanently close in the next 6 months unless there is some type of federal relief program. 42% will close due to lack of revenue. Another third will close because they are facing bankruptcy or forced to sell their assets off by the end of 2020. I state all of this just to provide, as I said, some context, but to provide and highlight the uncertainty that's facing the industry. It is fair to say, as we speak to the hotels throughout Providence, the chances of the hotels that existed in Providence pre-COVID all existing in another year is very unlikely. We will see hotels in Providence permanently close. We are seeing hotels that are currently open, albeit in a reduced capacity, talking about reclosing as they enter into the winter months, because the business model simply doesn't work. We are, in our industry, we are working 7 days a week to get people back to work. It has been our team's entire focus since really early March. And we are facing an uphill battle, particularly on the hotel side. I know the leader, Ryan, was very generous with her time with me last week, and I met with her. I know I submitted some written testimony to the committee last week, so I don't want to belabor the point, but we do ask that the committee postpone passage of this ordinance tonight to continue the dialogue between the council and the lodging industry. As we work in this very uncertain future and this uncertain time, we're very grateful that we're able to have these conversations, and we thank you for all of your time.
Thank you very much. Committee, any questions for Sarah? Any questions?
Councilwoman, may I?
Leader Harris, yes.
I have no questions, but I do believe that this is proactive. This is not reactive. This ordinance itself, just seeing it. And we understand what conditions that we are under. We also want to say that when we listen to the workers, they work really, really hard. I think our colleague Naducci said it so well. Over the years, we have witnessed this ourselves in some kind of capacity of trying to be supported or whatever of the workers, whether it was just being on the protest line with them as well, trying to get benefits, trying to get things that they are entitled to as workers. So there's been a long struggle with the hotels. And I know that this is a history going way, way back. So I myself think that the ordinance itself is great, you know, and I think being proactive than reacting, because we don't know what the condition is going to be. We can't know what the outcome is going to be. We don't know what the circumstance is going to be, whether it's going to reopen or not reopen. But if so, we need to be a hope for people who love their job so much, because if you heard what the workers, as they testify, they also love their work. They testify with enthusiasm. We want to make sure that we're not leaving them in the limbo. So I appreciate this ordinance, leader. I think it's an opportunity for us to, definitely be proactive in something. This is, to me, a proactive move. And that's I'd like to add. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Narducci, please.
Madam Chair, with that being said, can I make a motion to pass this resolution?
You absolutely can. Motion made to pass this resolution by Councilman Narducci. May I have a second?
Councilwoman Miller is going to second.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Miller and Harris.
And Harris.
Okay, wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Ayes have it. Motion passes. Matter passes. This now goes to the full council for second passage. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here today. And Sarah, I want to thank you as well. You did make some compelling remarks, and we get it. We know that the hotel industry is stressed, and believe you me, we want you to come back, and we want the hotel workers to come back. They've invested their lives in these hotels, in this industry, in this line of work, and we want to support them. So we want to work for all of you, and thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Made by Councilman Narducci, seconded by Harris and Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, we adjourn. Thank you.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you all.
All right. Thank you, leader.